This story is based on reports sent in by our subscribers and edited by me. The names have been changed to protect anonymity. If you would also like your story to be told here, send me an email. I love receiving your experiences and bringing new stories to the channel. Now, let's get started. My name is Caroline. Everyone at school knows me as the pink girl. And for good reason. My backpack, my pencil case, even my sneakers are cotton candy pink. I like it that way, as if every detail about me is part of a doll I created myself. And maybe that's exactly what I am, a little well-groomed doll with blue eyes that reflect the morning sky, naturally rosy cheeks, and golden curls that bounce on my shoulder like a spring at a party. In the room, when I walk by, it's impossible not to notice the whispers, but they're not mean. They're curious. I'm different, reserved, mysterious, maybe. My appearance is calm, almost angelic, if you know what I mean. My parents leave early and come back late. The house is quiet all day, and in that silence, only one presence fills me. Scotty, my best four-legged friend. It's with him that I spend my afternoons in my pink room, among soft pillows and the gentle scent of my perfume. He listens to me, understands me, looks at me like no one else does. For the past few months, I've been feeling something new. My body has changed. The mirror reveals curves where before there were only straight lines. My breasts have started to take shape with a softness that gave me goosebumps. My hips, once childlike, now carry a hint of provocation I never even knew I had. And between my legs, there is. I don't know how to explain it. It's a fire, a heat that sometimes keeps me from sleeping. And with the body come desires. Desires I can't explain, that appear in the late afternoon, when the light slips through the crack in the curtain and touches my skin in a different way. It's as if I'm blossoming in silence, but even in silence. However, Scotty hears everything. He understands me and is always with me. I talk to him. Sometimes I sleep with him in my bed, and our friendship has always helped me through my most difficult moments. The holidays arrive like a warm breeze in the late afternoon. For many, it's synonymous with freedom. For me, it's a lonely break. My parents left early and came back late. And the house? Well, it was always just as quiet. Just me and Scotty. He seemed to understand my boredom just by looking into my eyes. I tried to keep myself busy. I took out my school notebooks. I opened a few pages, but the words seemed blurry, distant. I went on social media. I scrolled up, sideways, to nowhere. No photo caught my attention. No video made me laugh. It was as if the outside world no longer affected me. So I went to stand in front of the mirror. That had really been catching my attention lately. Every time I looked at myself, it was as if I was seeing a new version of myself. My curves were more defined. My hips seemed to have a will of their own. The skin that was once smooth and childlike now had spots where warmth seemed to gather. And my breasts, oh those little pink butts, so sensitive to the touch, gave me shivers that didn't come from the cold. I gently touched my stomach as if searching for a secret. The tips of my fingers slowly, curiously, moved down, reaching between my legs. At that moment, I felt things I had never felt before. Scotty, lying at my feet, simply looked at me with his loyal and attentive eyes, but he was panting. He seemed to understand what he was feeling, and I thought about it for a moment. Could Scotty satisfy me? Because I trusted him a lot. He was my confidant, my support during quiet afternoons, my whole world when everything else seemed meaningless. And that day, all I wanted was to understand what was happening inside me, because something was setting me on fire. So I decided to give Scotty a chance. I wanted to know if he was capable of satisfying me, if he could put out this fire inside me, if you know what I mean. So guys, tell me something. Have you ever experienced that moment when boredom takes over? Your mind starts to wander, and suddenly everything changes? Like when I stayed home, just with Scotty, even trying to study, but nothing seemed to motivate me. Then suddenly, your gaze gets lost in your own curves, and a strange fire starts to rise. And you know what that is, don't you? With the decision already well settled inside me, I took a deep breath, feeling my whole body throb with impatience. I slowly lie down on the bed, the cold sheet contrasting with the heat rising between my thighs. I slid my fingers along the side of my hip until I found the elastic of my panties. With gentle movements, I pulled them down, feeling the fabric glide over my skin like a whisper. I took them off completely, letting them fall beside the bed, as if saying goodbye to the last layer of shame. I sighed, a soft sound, but filled with tension and desire. I turned my face and found Scotty watching me with that silent, yet so expressive look that it almost undressed me from the inside. His eyes were fixed on me, and in that moment, I knew he understood. Not with words, but with the body, with the scent, with the skin. He read each of my movements as if he were inside my head, if you know what I mean. I called to him softly, almost in a husky whisper. "Come on, Scotty." He came, without hesitation, as if he already knew exactly what to do. I rolled onto my back, resting my elbows on the mattress, and lifted my hips in an instinctive surrender. My body was there saying, yes, even before my mouth could utter a word. Scotty positioned himself over me and came to me with a raw, almost wild desire, something I had never felt before. His touch was firm, direct, determined. He found his way without hesitation, forging ahead with a swiftness that surprised me. At first, I felt a sharp discomfort, like a fear of the body, but there was no turning back. I was already surrendered, both inside and out. These movements were precise, as if they knew exactly where to touch me. Everything started to come together, to become deeper, until it all made sense. And it was there, in that wet, warm sensation, that I felt my whole body vibrate. It was like diving into a forbidden place, a place where everything pulsed, everything burned, everything begged for more. My fingers started to tingle, as if the pleasure was escaping through them. It was a dance without music, but with rhythm. He led like a master. Scotty went all the way, without hesitation, without stopping, filling every part of me with his presence and his instinct. When he finally finished, he was still stuck inside me. We stayed pressed together, panting, as if our bodies no longer wanted to be apart. I was trembling, not from fear, but from intensity, from surprise, from satisfied desire. For a few seconds, I was frightened by the sensation of still feeling him there, warm and whole, trapped inside me. But soon, he slowly withdrew, leaving behind an emptiness and a certainty. The certainty that he knew how to satisfy me in a way I could never have imagined. And it wasn't just physical. It was something more. Something that went beyond logic, if you know what I mean. I turned toward him. Our eyes met, and in that instant, we sealed a wordless pact. "Scotty, this is our new secret," I whispered with a half-smile. And he just looked at me, with that look of someone who knows exactly what he's doing, and what he's going to do. The days that followed were filled with an almost floating lightness. Waking up with that sense of fulfillment made me smile both inside and out. Every morning, I looked at Scotty with the certainty that I would never feel alone or unsatisfied again, if you know what I mean. He was there, always available, always attentive. All it took was a gesture, a whisper, or a lingering look, and everything would start again, with even more intensity. But that morning, something inside me wanted to discover the outside world. The sky was clear, the sun was gentle, and a light breeze danced through the curtains of my room. I put on my very tight hiking clothes, accentuating every curve, all in shades of pink, from my sneakers to my fitness bracelet. Even my ponytail elastic matched, because let's be honest, I've always liked to make a good impression, even when I'm out walking. Scotty, when he saw me pick up the leash, was already ecstatic. He didn't know that morning was going to change everything. We headed out into the park like two partners in crime. The sound of our synchronized footsteps, the sway of my hips with every step, and Scotty attentive within arm's reach. People looked, barely noticing the intense bond that united us, a bond that went beyond what was visible. He was strong, determined, and I was already familiar with that strength that could easily overpower me, if you know what I mean. But then, everything fell apart. Suddenly, a cat crossed our path, and that was all it took. Scotty transformed. In a burst of energy, he dashed after the cat, as if our entire world had shrunk to that single chase. I tried to hold him back, I swear I did, but my hand slipped, and the collar slipped off. The same strength that once swept me away with pleasure was now dragging me toward despair. I screamed, I ran, I closed my eyes for a second. The sound of the impact echoed like a stab in the chest. When I opened my eyes, my heart already knew. Scotty was lying on the asphalt. The woman in the car got out in shock, helped me, cried with me, but it was too late. His body was still warm, but his soul, it was already gone and had taken a piece of me with it. I went home in silence, the empty collar between my fingers. I spent days locked in my room, clutching my pillow in my arms, feeling the emptiness of a body that knew me inside like no other. I had lost more than just a companion. I lost my secret, my pleasure, my escape valve. My parents, noticing my sadness, tried to comfort me. And one afternoon, they called me into the room. He was there, a new puppy. Small, furry, with a curious look and uncontrollable energy. I smiled, even with tears in my eyes. I hugged that little restless body, and in the silence of my mind I wondered, will this new puppy be able to do everything Scotty could do? I smiled to myself, a mischievous laugh, full of possibilities. After all, there are just some things we can't teach. We feel them, and who knows, in the near future, maybe I'll write a new story. The kind that begins with a glance, a walk, or a leash in hand. And of course, it ends with a lot of fun, if you know what I mean. So now that you've heard everything, tell me, what do you think I did? Was it right or wrong? I simply followed what my body was asking for, what my heart was silently screaming. But did I cross the line? Can desire really blind us that much? Or maybe some experiences just have to happen, if you know what I mean. I'd really like to know what you think. Leave a comment below. Would you have done it differently? Or would that be going even further? And look, if you like true stories that are intense, provocative, and full of double meanings, subscribe to the channel right now. It's very important to me, because it encourages me to bring new stories, new confessions, and who knows, maybe a new story that could be yours. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone who also enjoys a good story that stimulates the imagination and the body, of course. I'll be waiting for you in the next video with more secrets, more pleasure, and more truth that no one dares to speak. Until then,